My name is Whitney, and welcome to Close Friends with Ella Rosa. So Ella, tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
You actually did it. What's the next line? It's like, I wanna.
I really, really, really want.
Zig. Oh, I don't know. I just came to mind.
I don't know what that means. Yeah. Only you could tell me. So your sound, you just came out with a new EP, Anxious Attachment Style. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you resonate with?
I was just talking about that this morning because I haven't read that book. Like, I know that there's a book about attachment. I haven't read it, but I was like, I knew that when that term started coming around, it was like, I guess there was a lot of like trending topics and like everyone was talking about their attachment styles. I like knew hands down, I was like, obviously I'm an anxious attachment style person. Like anytime I'm in any type of relationship, I'm like,
yeah, you're like, say no more, that's me. I don't need to read
I don't need to like know what, I'm like, I know that I'm an anxious attachment person. Like, I get the avoidant thing. Like, I understand people like that because I think at sometimes, like, some points I am kind of like, maybe I could just like run away from this because it is too good, but like most of the time I'm just super anxious and need to be around people.
I get that. I was talking to some friends and we came to the consensus yesterday that when you have an avoidant partner, it brings out the anxiousness even more.
Well, yeah, because you're like perpetuating what you don't want. Like, they are like a reflection of exactly what you're scared of. That's not good. I feel like that's the worst partner to have, if they're like opposite of what you are. It like, perpetuates how you're feeling.
For sure. Yeah. But kind of attracting, like, anxious energy is attracted to avoidant energy because it makes them, it feeds into that cycle loop. You do speak about your relationships in your music, whatever attachment styles may come up. And how is it like being vulnerable with your music and the stories that you tell of your songs?
I think it just makes my private life very non-private anymore, which I don't mind so much, but I think I like probably like moving forward have to like get a bit more insular about the way that I speak about stuff, because I'm realizing like I can't just be spilling my tea like every time I write music, and I can't be like spilling other people's tea too. So I think like for privacy reasons, obviously I should like chill out a little bit. But it's definitely weird to have to make, because sometimes you get in these situations that are not necessarily pretty or writable. Like, you can't really make music about some situations. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure over artists to be like going through some shit situation and make it like beautiful and nice and pretty. So yeah, I find that kind of hard sometimes, because I don't really write good music when I'm feeling sad or when I'm feeling low. But I feel like a lot of people are like, this is the best time, you should be writing music, and I'm like, I'm just low energy at that point, Yeah,
you have to wait until you get like that spurt of energy that you can write and reflect on like those times, I feel like. And it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be like represented, but you gotta have the energy to write about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But like with that privacy, the more vulnerable you are in a way, like the more people can relate. So there's also that like balance.
And that's what it is. It's like I can't like, I think I like writing about very specific things, and I think it just like broadening it up would probably like help my like art too.
Like outside of relationship?
Yeah, outside of relationships too. Like, I think also there's a lot to be said about friendship relationships. Like they're like almost like a massive partnership that like makes a lot of it turns up a lot of emotions in your life. So I feel like writing about friendship could be like also really cool.
Yeah.
I need to start doing more of that, because I have like a lot of things go like that's a lot. Like with my friends, I feel like I struggle a lot with like anxious attachment, the partner it's a bit easier because you can be like, you can talk about it a lot more, but with friends it's kind of awkward,
I saw your repost that you didn't. It was like me and a threesome. Do you hate me?
I'm the girl who's like, are you mad at me? Like, no, when someone hasn't spoken to me for like 15 minutes, like it's such a weird thing. That's like one of my biggest traits. I think everyone's mad at me all the time.
Definitely anxious attachment. Yeah. Definitely falls under there.
Yeah.
But Are you mad at me, like, constantly feeling, like, anxious about someone's feelings towards you? Like, if a guy doesn't text you back, like, for an hour or 24 hours even.
Dude, that's, I feel that.
No, they're living their best life. Like, they don't care.
Yeah, they're, like, nodding, or they're just, like, busy. Like, some people, I always forget that others are busy, you know? That's, like, one thing I never remember.
Okay, what do you think about your sound nowadays with this new EP versus your sound previously was a bit more jazzy, more vocal?
Yeah.
And it's transitioned to, like, a little bit more, like, electronic. I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's so sweet, thank you.
Yeah. But how do you feel about your own, like, transition?
Yeah, I guess it kind of happened, retrospectively, everyone was like, it's changed so much. And I was like, oh, I guess, like, it has. It wasn't, like, I didn't enter the project being like, I want to change my sound. I just was feeling like I liked that music in that moment. And I started doing a lot of sessions and writing music, like, specifically in that kind of genre. And then, like, the project just came around it. I also think my life is, like, so different now. I think when I was making all that jazzy, like, R&B music, it was because I was feeling, like, in a slower part of my life. Like, I was in, like, a kind of, like, reflective state, I think. And now, like, things move so quickly. Like, I'm really enjoying my social life at the moment, and I feel like I want to start making, and I am making music that, like, reflects the, like, fun and, like, the good that's happening right now. So I think electronic music, for me at least, is the best way to, like, reflect the happy, the fun, and the good.
I was just talking with someone about, like, melody and how that, like, really can, other than lyrics, but really play a part into the emotional meaning and, like, substance of the song.
Yeah.
Those poppy elements, like, really add to, like, the fun of it.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I try to make every single song that I do, like, not sound like the other one. And, you know, like, I just like variety. I'm such a get bored every 5 minutes type girl. So I'm like that, especially with music. So I want it to be always very different and unique, and, like, you know, reflective of, like classical training and, you know, random different tidbits. But, yeah.
Like, all of your different skills. And
yeah, like, I kind of want it to be, like, a crochet of, not even crochet, like, one of those blankets that you, like, pull together.
Quilt?
Yes, like, one of those things of, like, everything that I've done in my life in a song, which is so much to ask of myself, but yeah.
But, I mean, it'll come naturally because at the end of the day, it's made by you, and, like, you're the fabric for the quilt.
Exactly.
It's all from you.
Yeah.
So, your song Wait Dance is so fun, and it kind of talks about, like, the awkwardness of dating someone new, because it's about, like, you're out dancing and you, like, are trying to have a deep conversation with them at a club. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Just weird. I think at this age where it's such a point, and, like, we're just at such a point where dating, it's either you have to pick, like, going out with your friends or going out on dates, and there really is no, like, medium. And I think, like, for me at least, and I know a lot of other women and men feel the same way, like, when you're going out with, like, the person that you're first meeting, it's so impossible to get to know them. You really do have to get, like, a whole different day planned for that. So I just thought, like, Wait Dance was such a funny, like, it happened the night before I had a session on Sunday, went out with someone on Saturday, and then we were just talking about it at the session. I was like, this was just so awkward, like, trying to have this conversation with someone, and then they changed the music on us, and it was just, like, every fight, like, when the music would die down, we would just be like, oh, so where are you from? Like, trying to get everything, like, in one go. And I was like, what? How many siblings do you have? What are your parents? Like, you know, in, like, 15 seconds of that moment. And it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like, now, I guess music's on again, I can't hear you, so now we'll dance?
Yeah, it was, like, that was literally what it was. It was very much like, you know, and then you, like, do the same thing over and over again. It was, like, exhausting, but really funny.
No, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Like, the beginnings of something are so hard, especially when you have, like, anxious attachment or avoidant attachment, and, like, you're out and you're meeting them and you're trying to get the initial substance down before you can have a deeper conversation.
Yeah,
It's like, how many, like, I need to know, like, how many siblings do you have?
Yeah.
Why do I need to know this? I don't know. But
And then I feel like I do. I'm like, I need to know everything about you.
you know, and then we can talk about something that we relate on, or, like, whatever.
Exactly.
But you also have, like, a lot of themes about, like the dependence independence, but also like desire for deep connection in your songs. And like they go into like a lot of different aspects of relationships and dating, but also deeper down a relationship and like going over to a guy's house and like having a hard conversation.
Yeah.
So like how is it like encapsulating those experiences into a brief like pop song?
Yeah, women in my age group right now are all kind of like going through very similar, especially dating and like relationships, we're all going through kind of very similar stuff, at least like with my friend group. So having the duty, I guess, to reflect that in art is like super important. Like I want to be a mirror of like what women have to say for themselves,
Yeah.
So yeah, I digress from what you said, but sorry, what was the question?
Putting those themes and those experiences into your songwriting.
Like it's not, I wouldn't say it's like hard or anything. I actually kind of enjoy it. I think like I use the method of like making a really not dramatic situation really dramatic in my head, making it almost like as if it was a scene in a musical theatre show or something. And then making that into music. So I feel really lucky to be able to do that, and for people to actually care and like listen is really cool. Like I have been doing this for a while, but it feels really nice to know that finally some people are like actually listening to it leisurely, not because I send them a link.
Yeah, because they want to.
Yeah, because they actually want to.
I love this snippet.
And it makes them feel good. Like that is really cool to me, being able to like transfer me feeling really good and making other people feel good. Like, I feel like I've done it service at that point. Yeah.
I mean, for sure. I mean, the relation with song and like experience. It's like a form of like poetry and like expression, and having people come back to you and be like, yeah, I feel the same thing. Like, whether it's about relationships or mental health. Like,
and I guess it just makes you feel a little less crazy. Just like, I think when you're going through something, whatever it may be, nothing is worse when you talk to someone about it and they're like, oh, I've never had that before, or you're like, I feel mental, like I don't think I'm right here. It gives you like reassurance knowing that other people have done the same shit that you have, or freaking out about the stupidest things too.
That's like the worst feeling when you're like, when XYZ happens and like you have this like insane feeling in your stomach and it's like,
they're like, no. Yeah, no, that's not. I don't want to be around those people. I don't trust in those people.
You at least lie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I do sometimes because I hate that feeling. I'm like, I'm going to double down and lie and tell you that like I felt the same way because I want you to feel,
not crazy.
Not crazy, yeah.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Okay. Well, some of your other songs, one of them talks about going over to a guy's house. And what was like the inspiration behind writing that?
Ruin My Life or
Yes,
Ruin My Life. Yeah. Ruin My Life was an interesting one because, again, I think a lot of the music in that project is very like had the experience, went to the studio like an hour later and just wrote about it. So it was very just like fresh, everything. It was very, very fresh. So that was what I had this image in my mind, and I still have this image in my mind of like going over to like a guy's house, and I spent like 40 to an hour in the car, like just to go over to make sure that he wasn't like mad at me or like everything was okay. And I came out of that experience being like, what is my problem? And that's actually how I got the album, the EP name. I was like, what is this crazy characteristic that I keep on coming back to? And then I was like, I'm an anxious attached person. But yeah, that was a really funny one to make. It was almost like a jokey, song, and I wanted it to be like the song that people listen to on the way to a guy's house. And even still to this day, like I'm friends with people, or I'm like in relationships that I'm like, oh, I love you so much that like if this messed up, it would really ruin a lot. So I think about like that song in so many different situations, because that's what it is. It's like you, when things get too good, you just kind of feel like everything's gonna end. And I'm like,
I feel like that's a part of anxious attachment too. Is when is it going to end? Like when is this good thing?
Yes. When's the next shoe gonna drop? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't. That's a horrible feeling. And I guess like recently in the last year, I'm realizing that like this whole philosophy of like stoicism and like I guess Buddhism is a really good example of how like just experiencing the thing instead of like constantly thinking about the time frame of that thing, or like the shelf life of the thing is probably going to make most people more happy. It's so impossible to do. It's really, really hard. It's like people, you know, that's someone's life's work to have to do that and struggle and do that for the rest of their life. But I do try and like get back to that situation as much as I can, or like remind myself that not everyone's gonna fuck me over. Yeah. Sometimes things actually do work well and good.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, you know, it's a learning experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's all positive.
Thinking about the end now in the beginning
is not gonna help.
Is not going to help anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was always like a big problem of mine. Like starting a new relationship was like, it's either going to be forever or it ends.
Yeah, well, inevitably that is the case, but it's like, well, again, if it does end, it's a learning lesson. There's so many other things that you like benefit from like a breakup. Like, damn, I got like fit when I went through my breakup, like, and also got really like into other random hobbies, and like I actually started liking myself a bit. So I was like, this is a huge benefit. I wish I could go through a million breakups, you know, and not feel pain. But
yeah, just get really fit.
Yeah, and get really smart.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Because you spend so much time with somebody, and then when you get away from it, you're like, wow, I have all this time. I'm gonna go work out every day.
Yeah, like, and like a shit ton of feelings that you're like, who do I give this to? And you start realizing you don't have to give it to anyone. You can just give it to yourself.
You can give it to yourself.
That's the cheat code of life.
Yeah, I mean, it does require like a lot of energy and care and time, and like feeling like you need to give that to somebody. Like like if you're not in something, you're like, okay, like what do I do with all this? Who do I say I love you to? Like I need to express my love for someone. Well, yeah, relationships are also a luxury. Like we don't need to be in a relationship with a partner. Like in a romantic way, no one needs it. It's definitely a luxury. So that's another thing I always try to remind myself. I'm like, I don't need to be in this thing. I'm good by myself. It's just better to, you know, keep on reminding yourself that before going into this doomsday mindset. Yeah, it's really, really important to like remind yourself that you deserve and you deserve the love that you're like hoping to give to someone else and like profess to some external person. I am enough. We are enough. Yeah, it's true. We are. We deserve our own love. We do. Back at us. Yeah. So we have Wait Dance, Ruin My Life. Not Cute. What was the other one? Oh, Why You? Favorite song. Why is that one your favorite? That one's the least like pressured. Like we just put it out and now it's doing really well, and I loved the producer honestly of that song, Trey Camps. Shout him out. He is just so amazing. Like we make the best music together, and we have like a very good like synergy when we're in the studio, and it's just like a pleasant experience. I think most of that is just like catching a feeling. Every single song had like a really saturated feeling within the music. And Why You was definitely the most, like I was in such a weird space in my life, like transitioning between a lot of different things. And that was a catalyst for me. That was always a song that I would show people when I'm like, I have a new thing, you know, something's happening different that I've not done before. Why You was always the most proud of being of like a song. And then Not Cute was like, I'm feeling like emotions aren't cute. Well, because it isn't. It's like we all want to be that chill girl. Like we all do. It was just basically a reminder to myself being like, it's not cute to be this like needy entity. Like being like constantly asking and begging for someone. Exactly. It's just not cute, period. But it is good to have emotion. It's not bad, but it is bad to come from a place of like desperation or like lack, you know. I think that's like a signal of like that you need to give it, like we need to give it to ourselves. Yes. Like, before dedicating it to somebody else again. Yeah. But I think feelings are cute, and I'm hoping we rebrand that in 2024. Yeah, hopefully this next project will be that.
It is cute.
It's
Everything's
cute.
flipped. Like,
Yeah, it's cute to care.
yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
It should be.
No, it is. I think it's like if my emotions are inconveniencing you, then like your friendship's inconveniencing me. Like I don't really want to. I don't really want to. Yeah, soundbite that. I don't really want to be bothered with someone like that. Like I'm not about to waste my time on people like that. Like that's just such a lackluster life to me.
You're from London.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like there. How was that transition, like, from the whole emotional scene over there? I'm sure it's
So
different than here.
Yeah. I mean, I went out with the guy. This is me really spilling tea, and I love it. I went out with a guy in London, and it was just like, it wasn't like a serious thing, but I mean, we went out for a long time, but it wasn't like seriously emotional, you know. And I think it was such a like surface. There was a very surface level throughout the whole relationship, very very surface level. And he was, you know, the mindset of like stiff upper lip, kind of like just. He didn't actually know, because he was conditioned or just grown up to never talk about his emotions, because it was just like, come on, like let's just keep, you know. I think there was a lot of conditioning with him that he didn't physically know how to get there. Like I could tell that he was like, it was like him trying to do like a math equation, trying to like figure out the words to say, or even get to the point where he knew what he wanted to feel or think. So I was just like, this is just weird. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just me being mean.
I mean, so much masculine energy like carries that, and you know, I think we're working on it as a society.
Yeah.
I think we're breaking down some walls and barriers. And hopefully, the next generation.
Yeah, is a bit more open.
Yeah. But that doesn't. I mean, our generation's pretty much cooked, baked in the oven, done. Not the way it was.
Exactly.
So.
It kind of already happened.
You can only like put so much frosting on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's can't retroactively help us now.
I mean, therapy is the frosting.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. I need to do more of that.
Me too. But yeah, I feel like for men too have their own bouts of prepackaged like
stuff.
Things that come with attachment styles and parenting styles and the way they were raised and what was acceptable. It's like, I'm not saying anything new or unique, but it's all from your childhood. It's all from like your parents, your siblings, whatever, family, like all from that, like how we are today. And that's why I'm like, how many siblings do you have? What are your parents like? You know, because just so I need to like know what's happening in their life. Yeah. Even with friends, very much like to know where people come from and how they're raised, and it's interesting to me. It's really important to know like what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
I feel like a person's like family, like especially with someone that you're wanting to marry.
Yeah.
Like your person.
Yeah, males.
It's important to know what you're gonna get involved with. Like it's a big part.
Huge.
Of someone.
It's like the biggest decision. I think every friendship is like and relationship is like it's like having literally like a football team. You're gonna have a shit football team, you have shit friends. Like you've got to just make the team super strong.
Exactly.
Like Reading FC, baby.
Shout out.
No,
what are their colors?
They're like blue. They're like not a good team. Sorry.
It's where you're from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you moved to London. And then you moved to Canada.
No. So it's confusing. I was in England, moved to New York, moved back to England, moved to LA. My parents are Canadian. That's why I moved to school. Yeah.
Even now, LA.
Like 3 years now.
Okay.
Okay. I'm liking it. I'm loving it.
Your music is thriving here.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I can't really be anywhere else right now. I have a really well-oiled machine type system that I've got going on right now. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now.
As the scene, so we were talking about the guy that you were seeing in London, and over here, like emotionally with your friends and partners and people, is it like, are people like tend to be like more deeper, or like, so you said that was like the surface level.
Well, I also just think my friend group is just so different. Like now I have a lot of, like everyone I'm friends with is like creative, in some shape or form. So it's a lot easier for me to have like not nice conversations with creatives, because like that's, you know, they know how to get through a tough conversation. I definitely think my friend group is like so different here, and I'm really happy about that. I like feel very lucky to have a friend group, the friend group that I do. I like that a lot.
And so that has really like impacted like your feeling of security here.
I would say so, yeah. It's like I don't have any family here. I think if I didn't have my partner, my friends, I would really be like super lost. I wouldn't feel any benefit to stay here apart from like truly career benefit, and I think that's good. Like I could do it, but I would be really miserable.
Yeah. Shout out friends.
Shout out friends, love you guys.
Yeah. And so your family's still in Canada, I'm listening?
No, they live in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have family in the US?
In the US, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what other themes among like friends, like, so you said you want to write more about your friends and things like that. Like what are some themes around friends that you would want to bring into your songwriting?
Really good question. I haven't even thought about that. I guess it's more the feelings. Like I want to encapsulate that feeling of like, you know, when you're going out on a night out and you're like so excited because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And, like you don't know who you're gonna meet, what girls, boys, anyone you're gonna meet. You know.
It's such a specific feeling too.
I wouldn't even know. Like I'd love for there to be a word.
It's like reverse nostalgia. It's like not like you're like, oh, like that was so nice. Like what it like, oh, like what could happen.
Yeah.
The future's unknown.
Yes.
Like,
and you're with people that you like feel cool around. You feel good. You feel safe, and it's fun. It's all good vibes.
That's why like there's some nights that you just don't want to end because it's like 3 a.m. and it's such a good night. Yeah. It's like.
Love it.
What are we doing now?
Yeah, so fun. I think that every one of my friendships feels like a relationship, just as much as I like nurture my romantic relationship. I have to nurture my friendships, and I think that like that can be like spoken about a bit more like romantic. I don't think it's like spoken about. It's very like fraternally talked about, and like. You talk about it in like groups and stuff like that, but it isn't like in a like loving way. I kind of want to like get a bit more like emotional about men for my friends.
Yeah, and we have like girls' night out.
Like,
there's a lot of like the Spice Girls.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Of,
like really like
stuff.
female heavy, you know, music. I want it to make girls feel sick when they go out.
Yeah. Well, shout out for Skater Pods. You can come to Skater Pods too. There's actually like some of the girls in our program. I mean, they're like 13, but they're making music.
It's so amazing.
It's crazy. Like they'll make their own beats. And
that's what I started making music when I was like 11.
Really?
Really bad music. But like, I think that's when you start like getting the bug for it. Yeah.
What was it? Were you just doing it like with, you know, like a guitar and like a pencil pen?
Yeah.
And, like,
I still have the book in my house. Yeah. It's awful.
I can't wait for your memoir. Like,
oh my god, I will keep that book. For
so much material.
Yeah.
About your past. That's really good to have though.
So good. And also like seeing what it's good because I'm like, oh, I need to stop caring so much about the tiny stupid shit. Because I remember like stuff when I was 11 was so drama in my head, and then I look back and I'm like, wasn't that deep, girl? So why did you think about that?
If only you knew what was going to happen.
Exactly.
But I feel like we only know what we know and like where we're at, like up to that point.
And also it's like been so great up until now. So I'm like, it's only gonna get better. Like it just keeps on getting better as I get older. So life's great. Love life.
Yeah. I mean, your sound now is like a lot different and like more like so I don't know, solidify. I would say like cohesive. I don't know.
I just think it like really works for me and my lifestyle. There's no like dissonance between like how I'm living and what it sounds like. It almost is like the soundtrack to my life. my life.
Just cut out the room.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just my life.
I just think it is more solidified. I'm really happy with it. And I feel confident. Like, it's one thing to be able to make good music, and then there's another thing to be able to, like, put your name behind it and build, like, display, you know, promoting it and not cringy about promoting it. And I have no issue with this project, like, showing people, because I'm super proud of it.
Yeah, it feels like it fits your personality.
Yeah.
And, like, who you are, like, just you and your presence online and just, like, in person.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you have that, like, it's easier to kind of promote and, like, create content and do the things, because it's, like, all the same thing.
Yeah, and it's not like me organizing a shoot for the day, like, to do TikToks or content. It's, like, literally just me living, and I'm, like, taking videos of it, you know?
Yeah. There's something to be said about, like, having, you know, less, I mean, in psychology it's, like, cognitive dissonance, but, like, that's more, like, in your brain. Like, you feel like, you know, for example, a good example is, like, you know, addiction or smoking cigarettes or alcohol, but, like, you have this one image of yourself as, like, clean and pure, but then the other side of you is, like, no, like, I actually, like, struggle with, like, you know, smoking or whatever it is. And I feel like the less dissonance there is between how you live your life and, like, who you see yourself to be, like, the better, like, the more fluid and easier things are mentally.
Yeah, and I don't have to, like, ramp up for sessions, or I don't have to, like, really think too much when I'm creating art, because it just comes, you know. That's, like, also another cheat code. Being true to yourself makes better art.
Being true to yourself is a cheat code. Yeah, it truly is. Was it harder to, like, be as creative when you had your, like, previous sound?
I think so. I was like, oh, maybe I'm just learning the ropes. Like, maybe I'm just, like, still, you know, just learning. And I guess I was, like, a bit in denial, or I just, like, really didn't know what wasn't working for me. And I didn't have the, like, blueprint of this, like, what's happening now. And I didn't know this was going to be a thing, so I didn't really have, like, a, you know, straight and narrow path. So, yeah, it was very much, like, me just trying to, like, scramble some music together. And it was all good. Like, I still listened to it. But I just wasn't, again, like, proud of, like, showing it to people. I was a bit, like, I can always tell if I like the music, because I'm, like, cringing when I'm playing it. I'm like, oh, you can just tell it, like, the rest is the same kind of vibe. And I'm like, no, if I like the song, I'm gonna, like, make them play it to the very damn end, you know?
That's a really good distinction.
Yeah.
Well, were your influences before, like, was it more like you found your sound and, like, you were, like, leaning on influences before, and, like, now you lean on them less, and now it's more just like you, or what was that like?
It's, like, definitely still heavily influenced by others, but not in the way that, like, I go into creating it and say, like, let's make a song like this. It's more just like, I love the way that this sounds. Would love, like, I'm annoyed that I didn't think about that first. And then we just try to make stuff that other people are annoyed that they didn't make first, you know? So yeah, I guess it's all influenced by something. But I'm also, like, I like to take references from, like, random stuff too, not, like, musical references. I'm like, I like the way that, like, that tree looks. Like, I would love to, like, make a song about that tree, you know? Or, like, I'd like to make a song about how the tree looks, you know? Like, the soundtrack to things. So yeah, it's always being influenced by something or other.
Yeah, always inspiration coming.
Yeah.
Who were some of your, like, artist influences
for this last project?
Yeah.
I really was listening to a lot of, like, Nia Archives, like Coco and Claire, Shy Girl, I'm obsessed with. A lot of, like, strong, proper, like, female, you know, trailblazers, I think.
I mean, goes with the whole vibe, too.
Yeah.
And you have new music on the way.
I have a song in November coming out. It's called Gross, and I'm really excited about it. We just did the video. And it's, like, similar, you know, through line of electronic, dance, fun, cute, girly music.
Were the influences like all Slate girls like going out, or
It was more just like, you know, when you're like at a bar and you're seeing like a couple and you're like, fuck, they're so gross, but they're so cute. Like that, you know? Yeah.
Like I want that for me, but I hate that because it's
you're like,
you.
damn it, it's so damn cute.
Like, why can't that be me?
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm so excited for that one to come out. It'll be cute. I think it'll be like the end of the year anthem for a lot of girls.
But you're in a relationship.
Yeah, I am.
So you're the gross one?
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, because it's like coming to terms with like, oh, damn it, I'm that person now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That person I always thought was like, ugh,
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah, like bringing his name up like 3 times in a conversation. That type of girl. Yeah.
Well, you haven't really brought him up at all today.
I try to keep like my like relationships pretty private.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just spill tea on random British boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Once it's done, I'm like to the wolves, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's gonna know.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna know.
No. Exactly.
Thanks for coming on today and being a part of this.
I told you I would cry. Never cry.
No, just try to cheer for the camera.
Yeah, I'm like,
think of something. Think of Lychee. Something happening to Lychee.
I didn't even know what was his name. Oh, no.
This is Lychee. Just kidding. Don't think of anything bad.
No. Well, thank you for having me. This was easy and fun.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, Mind and Matter. I'm Ella Rosa. Go listen to my new song, Gross. It's out in November. Thank you for listening to all my music. I love you guys. Bye. This is how you make tea. 101. From a Brit, so she knows.
Tea lesson. No honey.
No honey. No, in black tea, not really. Like, you can't. It's like black English breakfast tea or Earl Grey. You just do like whack the bag in, water, take the bag out after like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, put milk in, then you're done.
What about cream?
No. I think everyone does their own whatever they want to do, you know? Perfect. This one, I think.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Cheers.
Cheers.